Do we ever wondered how the ancient Persian Empire became one of the largest in history? It wasn't just about numbers. It was about brilliant and sometimes ruthless strategy. We all know the stories of Thermopylae and the 300 Spartans. But the real genius of the Achaemenid Persians lay in how they planned, moved, and conquered. Their strategy began long before the first arrow was fired. It started with intelligence. Persian kings were masters of espionage. They sent spies into enemy lands to gather information on their military strength, political divisions, and even the local geographer. This intel was gold. It allowed them to exploit weaknesses, bribe officials, and turn factions against each other before the main army even arrived. The Persians knew that a kingdom divided against itself is far easier to conquer. Next, let's talk about their military machine. The Persian army was incredibly diverse. At its core were the elite immortals, a 10,000-strong heavy infantry unit. But they were supported by troops from all over the empire: Scythian horse archers, Babylonian spearmen, Egyptian marines. This wasn't just a random mix. It was a combined arms approach. The cavalry would harass and flank the enemy. Light infantry would skirmish and shower them with arrows. And then the heavy infantry would move in for the decisive blow. Each unit had a specific role, working together like a well-oiled machine. But perhaps the most impressive part of their strategy was logistics. An army of tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, needs food, water, and supplies. The Persians were masters of this. They built a vast network of roads, like the famous Royal Road, which stretched over 1,600 miles. Along these roads, they established supply depots and garrisons. This meant their armies could move faster and stay supplied far from home, a feat few other ancient empires could match. They also built massive pontoon bridges, like the one Xerxes famously constructed across the Hellespont, allowing his massive army to simply walk from Asia into Europe. Psychological warfare was another key weapon. The Persians cultivated an image of overwhelming power and divine right. When their armies appeared on the horizon, the sheer scale was often enough to make smaller city-states surrender without a fight. They offered terms: submit to the king of kings, pay tribute, and you could keep your local customs and rulers. Resist, and you faced total destruction. This carrot-and-stick approach was incredibly effective. Many chose the path of least resistance, adding their resources and manpower to the ever-growing empire. Of course, they weren't invincible. Overextension, internal rebellions, and the rise of a united Greece under Alexander the Great eventually led to their downfall. Alexander actually learned from Persian tactics, adapted them, and used them to dismantle the very empire that had perfected them. But for over 2 centuries, the Achaemenid Persians set the standard for military strategy. Their focus on intelligence, combined arms, logistics, and psychological warfare created a blueprint for empire building that would be studied and copied for millennia to come. So, the next time you think of the Persian Wars, remember it wasn't just about massive armies clashing. It was a complex game of chess played on a continental scale, and for a very long time, the Persians were the grand masters. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into history. See you in the next one.